going on, my Mamianas? So I know lately I've been giving y'all like nothing but updates on DJ, and I know this is the Mama Nae channel. I'm currently in the process of wrapping the rest of our Christmas gifts. Our little Christmas tree. Got all the gifts down there, all that good stuff. So I have been working on that. I've been giving y'all a lot of updates on DJ, and you know, with his first birthday coming up, and we're in the holiday season and all that stuff. So we've been just really busy. We took DJ to go see the lights. We set up the Christmas tree, obviously. We've been recording for our main channel, Dre and Nae. Dre's been recording with his twin brother, Trey, for their channel, Downtime TV. So we've just been having a lot going on. DJ currently just picked up an occupational therapist. We have so much going on. We have party planning going on for his first birthday. So yeah, it's just been a lot. So I really haven't had a lot of time to get on camera. So I know I've been missing, you know, some uploads for y'all. And I don't want to keep giving y'all the same content. So I think in light of DJ's first birthday coming up, I kind of wanted to sit down and finally share my birth story with y'all, because I feel like sometimes I just need to talk about it. And I know it's almost been a year. In about another 2 weeks, it's almost been a full year that I've had my son. But yeah, sometimes I just feel like I still need to talk about it to kind of just get past everything. And you know, I don't want to keep thinking about it all the time, or you know, dwelling on it like with everyone else. And I feel like sometimes I feel like people get tired of hearing the same stuff over and over and over all the time. So you know, what a better place to tell y'all, or what better place to tell anybody than to y'all, my Mamianas. So so let's get into it. So it was right around this time last year, and I think this is kind of why it's bringing it up for me, because it was around this time last year that I was 7 months pregnant. Big old belly. I was ginormous. I was swollen everywhere, feet, ankles, face, you name it. I was swollen everywhere. And so I would try to rest, but I also just felt like I was being so lazy about everything. And so I would try to get up and move around and get out the house and stuff like that. And, you know, I wasn't really listening to my body like I was supposed to. And my doctors hadn't put me on bed rest or anything like that. They were just monitoring my blood pressure and all that stuff. But I was at the point where I was in my third trimester. I was having appointments every week at this point, but it was so exhausting. And so every time I would get out of bed, my feet would just swell. Like as soon as I stepped out of bed, it didn't matter what I did or the short period of time that I did walk, nothing helped. I would just swell. And so I tried all the little different remedies and everything. As it got a little closer to Christmas Day, I started having it felt to me like Braxton Hicks. And so the day of Christmas Eve, and I'll actually insert the post, but the day of Christmas Eve, I actually asked my Facebook, because I've never been a mom. So I'm like, I don't know what this feels like. I've never been pregnant. I don't know what any of this is supposed to feel like. So I'm asking everyone, you know, what does Braxton Hicks feel like to you? And everyone's like, oh, it just feels like period cramps and all this other stuff. And so I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's not what I'm feeling, but I'm feeling some pressure. Like, you know, because DJ, he was developing kind of fast. And so he had actually went head down. And when a baby goes head down, for those that don't know, that means they're kind of preparing themselves to basically come out of their mom. So, yeah, he was head down at 20 weeks. So that was only halfway through. You're supposed to make it to at least 40 weeks, or, you know, at least somewhere around there. But he did that at 20. And so pretty much I was feeling lots and lots and lots of pressure. I was feeling a lot of pressure, but I didn't think anything of it. It kind of came and went, came and went. So I was like, oh, okay, it's nothing. Like it's no big deal. Like maybe I just need to kind of just take a minute, breathe, all that good stuff. So I would do that and take my time. And Christmas Day, I was so out of breath. But we had to make our rounds and go see family, and so we went to Dre's parents' house. I ate some strawberry cake over there. We had a gift over there and stuff like that. So we went to go pick that stuff up. We went to Dre's grandma's house and we showed her it was funny because it was actually my very last ultrasound was a couple days before Christmas, and that was the day that DJ decided to show his face to us for the first time. So we actually had a 3D ultrasound, which I'll insert in there, my handsome boy. So we finally got to see his face because we'd spent from 20 weeks up until 31 weeks trying, or 30 weeks trying to see his face, and he finally showed it to us right before I had him. And so yeah, and then we went to my parents' house, and I got to see my parents got to see me, I got to see them, we got gifts and all that stuff, and sat down and ate. But I was just so out of breath, and I was just like breathing really heavy. I was struggling to breathe, and struggling to walk. I was struggling to talk. It was very painful. It was so painful. My back was on fire. Like everything just hurt. I wouldn't trade it for the world, but everything just hurt. Oh my God. So I was standing in the kitchen. I was talking to my stepmom, and she goes, "Nay, I think it's safe, to deliver a baby at 32 weeks." Mind you, I was only like 30 weeks and like a couple days. I was right about to hit 31 weeks. So I was like, no, yeah, it's fine, blah, blah, blah. But what I wasn't telling anybody was that I was actually like having that much, like not that much pain. Like I wasn't bleeding or anything like that. My water didn't break, nothing like that. But I was having pain to where like it just felt like I just needed to push all the time. And but I didn't tell anyone. But I did have it in my head, and I did actually tell my stepmom that day. I was like, I don't think I'm gonna make it to full term. I don't think that I'm going to be able to carry him all the way to 40 weeks or even 36. I don't think I'm gonna be able to make it, or at least 36. And Dre was like, no, don't say that. Don't say that. You're going to be able to make it. You're going to make it. You can carry him to full term. And I was like, no, something just don't feel right. I'm not going to be able to make it. And so that night we went home, and I just started having this really, really bad pain. And I was like, oh my God. But to me, it felt like gas. So like it felt like you had really bad gas, but the gas was stuck like in my diaphragm, so it was hard for me to breathe. And so like I was struggling to breathe, but I'm like trying to catch my breath, but I'm trying to get the gas out too. So I'm like doing all these different little positions and child's pose and all this stuff. I'm trying to push my knees into my chest, all of that. Like I'm trying to do everything I possibly can to get the gas out of my stomach, and nothing was working. So I'm like, okay, something just doesn't feel right. But then out of nowhere, it just all went away. So I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe it was just gas. Okay, cool. Cause I did let a little bit out here and there. I know that's probably TMI. Y'all probably don't want to hear that. Oh well, whatever. Y'all gonna hear it today. Yeah, like it just went away. So I was like, okay, cool. Like I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go to sleep because I'm tired. I need to go to sleep. I need some rest. We gotta get up. We gotta record in the morning. All that stuff. And so finally got to get some rest. Couple days go by and everything seems fine. Everything seems cool. Like I wasn't really having no major pain. DJ was still kicking and moving, all that stuff, being all hyperactive like he wanted to be. And then December 30th came, and that night I started feeling all this pain again, like the gas pain again. So I'm like, oh, okay, it has to be Braxton Hicks again. Maybe I'm just feeling Braxton Hicks again. Okay. It's okay. I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna breathe through it. I'm gonna get the gas out. I'll be okay. Everything's gonna be fine. Like we're gonna make it. I'm gonna be okay. So I'm doing all that. The gas really didn't come out too much, but it was manageable. It was tolerable. So I was actually able to get some rest that night. And I had told Dre, like, I was like, man, this kind of hurt a little bit. So, he was like, okay, we'll just try to get you some rest. We'll see, like, if you still feel it in the morning, we'll look into it, all that stuff. So, because we're like, because it's not time. Like, I didn't know anything about really being pregnant or, a lot of stuff like that. So, the different aches and pains that you have, I didn't know nothing about it. So we get up in the morning, we go record, and I actually no the day before, sorry, backtracking. So the day before I had a waxing appointment, I canceled it because I was like, I can't do it. I'm in too much pain. I don't feel good. I am like, by this point I had already started getting nauseous again as well. So I was like, I can't do it. So I went ahead and I canceled my waxing appointment. And then the day of the 31st, I had a lash appointment with my sister-in-law. She was supposed to do my lashes that morning. And I had texted her and I was like, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it. I'm in so much pain. I don't know what's wrong. But I can barely even walk. Like, I cannot do it. I can't make it. And so I was like, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to cancel. She was like, no, Nate, it's okay. It's perfectly fine. So we usually on for New Year's, we usually will bring in the New Year's with Dre's family because Dre's little brother, his birthday is New Year's Day. So we always have the plan to bring in the New Year with the family and everything like that. And since I was the furthest along, because Dre's brother, his girlfriend, and I were pregnant at the same time, but she was a little behind me, like maybe about a month and a half or two behind me. And so since I was, I guess I don't know if that's the way they wanted to plan it, but since I was a little bit further along, um, we had planned for us to just bring in the new year over here at our house so that I didn't really have to move around a whole lot either, especially since I was trying to prepare for maternity pictures, baby shower, and then just at that point, just nesting and getting ready for the baby. As the day's going on, I get into this mood. I have this burst of energy, but I'm in pain. And so I'm like, I need to get the house together. Everyone's going to be here. I got to get ready, all this stuff. So I start trying to clean. And I'm cleaning and I'm cleaning and I'm cleaning. And Dre decides he's going to take a nap. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. Go ahead, take your nap, whatever. But I'm like, oh my God, I cannot take this pain anymore. Like, this is hurting so bad. Oh my God. And so I'm like, okay, this doesn't feel like how this felt on Christmas. This don't feel like how I felt yesterday. Like, it's just getting worse and worse and worse. And then by this point, it's just intensifying and it's nonstop. Like, I could hardly catch a break in between the pain. And so at this point, like, I had to stop. I had to stop cleaning. I had to stop everything. And I went to tell Dre, I'm like, okay, look, I'm in a lot of pain right now. And so he's like, okay, well, he was like, well, do you think, like, do you think it's probably just the gas again? I'm like, maybe, I don't know. But I'm like, but this feels like way more intense. But I'm like, but it's hurting so bad. So we're not thinking anything of it because I'm like, okay, I'm not far enough for me to have him yet. So I can't be going into labor. I can't be. It wasn't the first thing on my mind at all. Like, I was just like, okay, maybe I'm just having really, really bad stomach pain. And I know that sounds stupid to some people, but in my mind, it made sense because I'm like, I can't see myself having my son right now. Like, I'm not thinking about that at all. And I'm not ready. I'm just not ready yet. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try some stuff and I'm gonna see what helps. So I did like warm compressions, like I did like a warm towel on my stomach. That didn't help. I tried walking, it started to hurt more. I tried sitting at the edge of the couch and bouncing, that hurt. It hurt to sit down. It hurt to walk. I tried bouncing on my little yoga ball. That didn't work. I think it actually made things kind of speed along a little bit more. I couldn't eat because I was like, maybe I need to eat. I don't know. I tried eating. I couldn't do that. I could barely even get the food down because it hurt so bad to breathe. I was just like, man, like nothing is working. And so by this point, I am in tears, like boohoo crying. I can't help it. I cannot stop it. I don't know what to do. And I think I called my stepmom and I asked her, because she works at the hospital, the hospital I delivered DJ at. And I called her and I asked her what the nurse's hotline was, because I needed to call them. I need to see what's going on and stuff like that. And so she gave me the number. I give them a call and I let them know that I'm 31 weeks and like 3 days. At this point, I was 31 weeks and 3 days along, which is actually considered early. So so yeah, by this point I'm 31 weeks and 3 days, and I give them a call and I let them know what's going on, and I tell them like I'm having all this pain, like I'm telling them what I've tried to do, everything like that. I tell them that I have history of high blood pressure, all that good stuff. So they're already fully aware. So what they were like, okay, well, we're gonna need you to come in. So yeah, so I tell them what's going on and everything, and I let them know like I'm just having a lot of pain, and it really, really hurts. And so I was telling him I was feeling a lot of pressure and like I felt like I need to push and all that stuff. And they were like, no, don't push. Do not push. They were like, ma'am, we will see you in an hour. And so, because I live about 30 minutes away from the hospital that we delivered DJ at. And so I wake Dre up because I'm like, okay, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna take myself to the hospital because I am just having so much pain right now. And I can't handle it anymore. I can't take it. And so he's like, no, don't do that. Or he was like, or something like that. And so I was like, okay, well, you know what? He was like, I'm about to get up. So I go get in the shower and I'm like, okay, maybe the warm water will help to, kind of relieve some of that pain. And so it did feel pretty nice, but to have the warm water like hit my stomach and stuff like that, but it didn't help at all. And so I get out the shower and I get myself ready and I'm like, okay, I can't take it anymore, Dre. I need you to get up. I was like, I need to go to the hospital like now. So we get up, or he gets up, and then he feeds Duke, our dog, and we start trying to get out the door, and I'm waddling, but I'm pushing at the same time because I'm like, I can barely handle it. I don't know what else to do. And so it was very, very painful because we have to go down some stairs by this point, but anyway. So I have to go downstairs and everything. I'm moving very, very slow, but it just was so painful, y'all. That's all I can really think about. It was so painful. I finally make it to the car. Dre is racing me to the hospital because he's like, okay, I don't know what's wrong. I just know that she is carrying my baby and we need to get her to the hospital like now. So we're speeding down the highway and everything, and we actually passed by a cop, and he was like, okay, well, he was like, do you want me to get the cop to escort us? And I was like, no, it's okay. But when I'm in the car, like the little latch thing or the little handle thing that's on the side, like I'm holding on to that, but I'm holding myself up in the seat because it hurts so bad to sit down. I couldn't sit down, but I had the seatbelt on me and everything, but I couldn't sit down. And so we finally get to the hospital, and I was actually gonna try to walk into the maternity area or whatever, which actually was a very far walk, but I realized I wasn't gonna be able to do it. So Dre called for somebody to come bring me a wheelchair because they were like, he was like, I need y'all to take her up there. Like, he was like, I'm gonna go, take care of Duke and everything. He was like, and I was like, okay, I'll just call you when I'm done. Everything should be fine. Like, I'll just let you know what's going on. So he gets back, comes back to the house, and within that short time frame of him getting back to the house, which he made it back to the house within like 20 minutes, he gets back to the house. I've already made it upstairs into the maternity area, and they're getting me checked in and everything, but I'm sitting in the wheelchair the same way that I was in the car, and I was propping myself up in the seat and couldn't sit down, all that stuff. And so they were asking me like, okay, are you like, do you have to do that, or like, are you like, you don't have a choice? And I was like, it hurts to sit down. And so I was like, I feel like I need to push, and everyone keeps telling me, no, do not push, don't push. And I'm like, but I feel like I have to, I need to push. I get to the bag, they have me switch my gown and everything, or switch out my clothes into my gown and everything. And so they put all these monitors on me. They're monitoring the baby, monitoring me. My blood pressure is sky high. Like, it was like 200 over like 160 something. I don't know. It was extremely high, y'all. Like, that's not normal. Like, that can cause a lot of problems. It can actually kill you. So but it was a very scary situation as well. And so, like, they said DJ was perfectly fine. Like, his heart rate was normal. He was just moving around like he wanted to and everything. And so they were like, no, baby is fine. Like, the baby is fine. But they were like, but you, mom, you're in distress. You are the problem. We are going to have to figure out something for you. And so, so by this point, I'm like, okay, so what does that mean? They're like, we're gonna have to have this baby today. December 31st, we are gonna have to have this baby today. And I'm like, oh man. And I'm like, but wait, no, it's too early. I can't have him right now. I'm not ready. Like, no, I don't want to have him right now. I'm like, we're supposed to have people at our house today. We're supposed to be bringing in the new year. Like, he's not doing till March 1st. I can't do this. I don't want to have him right now. I was like, I don't want to have him right now. I was like, oh God, okay, what am I gonna do? I was like, Dre's not here. What am I supposed to say? And I was like, okay. And I was like, okay, well, can I call call my fiance? Can I let him know what's going on? And so they were like, yeah, they were like, can you try to get a support person here? So we need you to have at least one, like, have somebody here. And so, cause I was there by myself. And so, because I was thinking they were just gonna, tell me, okay, monitor my blood pressure, give me something, bring my blood pressure down, and then send me home. Because it was early. And so, and we got there about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And so, by 6 o'clock, I was calling Dre and I was telling him, like, hey, so they said I have to have the baby today. And he was like, what? Why? And I'm like, because my blood pressure is extremely high right now. Like, they said I'm in distress. They said the baby's fine, but they said they need to get him out in order to help me and to keep him safe as well. And so he was like, okay, well, I'm on my way. He was like, damn, man, I just put the dog out. He was like, okay, let me bring the dog back in. He's like, I'm on my way. I'm coming. Like, just tell him to wait. Tell him to wait. And so I'm like, well, is it possible for me to push him? And they were like, no, you can't. It's not safe. You cannot push him. They were like, we are going to have a C-section. So then I really broke down and I was like, oh my God, I do not want to have a C-section. Mind y'all, I've never had any type of surgeries, major surgery, nothing like that. So this was terrifying for me to imagine having to go into surgery. And so I'm like, well, I definitely don't want to do that if I don't have anybody here with me. So so they're like, okay, well, ma'am, I mean, this is the only option to save your life. Like, this is what we have to do. And so I'm like, oh man. So I'm just crying and crying. And Dre's like, what's going on? What's happening? What are they saying? And I'm trying to tell him, but I can't get the words out. And I'm like, they said I have to have a C-section. And I'm just like, he's like, why? And I can't explain it. And so I put the doctor on the phone and he's talking to the doctor and she's telling him everything that's going on and all that stuff. And I was just sitting there just crying because I did not want to have them cut him out. I just wanted to keep him in until it was time and then I can push him out and all that stuff. Because I wasn't ready. Like, I didn't have anything set up at home or anything like that. I was not ready at all. Mentally, I wasn't ready. Physically, I wasn't ready. Emotionally, I was, but I also wasn't at the same time. Just because I had the plan that I was going to be able to carry him to full term, and it didn't go like that. And so by about 6:15, they had already been getting me prepped and everything for surgery. They had all my IVs and my lines and all that stuff in. So they got me all ready and everything. And Dre was like, okay, well, I'm only like 10 minutes away. Like, can y'all just wait? And they were like, no, we have to do this now. Like, it's an emergency. We have to do this, or I don't know if we'll be able to save her life. So it was pretty much, it was either me or the baby. And so he's racing to get there. He's speeding, like everything. And so he finally gets to the hospital, but I'm already in the OR. And when I get into the OR, they put my catheter in. And the last thing I remember is them telling me, all right, ma'am, are you ready to go to sleep? And I was like, wait, what? They were like, we have to put you to sleep. It's not safe for you to stay up. And so I was like, so I'm not gonna be able to see my baby like be born at all either? They were like, no. And they were like, it's not safe to keep you awake. It would not be safe for us to just give you an epidural. We have to put you to sleep. And so I cried about that as well. I did a lot of crying that day. And so so they were like, so are you ready to go to sleep? And I was like, I mean, I guess if I have to, then that's what I have to do. So they were like, okay, we're gonna put this mask on you. We just need you to take a couple deep breaths and you'll be out. So, and mind y'all, anybody that says the catheter does not hurt, it does. It fucking hurts. That shit was so painful, and I wish they would have put it in or after I went to sleep, not before they put me to sleep. I was so mad about that, and I still talk about it to this day because I don't understand why they didn't do it. But whatever, it's beside the point. It's done and over with now. But but yeah, so I took a few breaths and I was out. Apparently I just passed out, and I gave birth to DJ at 7:17 p.m. on New Year's Eve. So we have a New Year's Eve baby. And I woke up around maybe like 10:30 at night, and I got a call or I was asking them for some ice chips because I was really, really thirsty. I wanted some water really, but they wouldn't give it to me. And so I asked them for my phone so that I can get in contact with Dre, because I woke up and I was just in a room by myself. And so it was like a holding room until they had a room available for me. And so like they wouldn't let Dre come see me. They wouldn't let Dre go see the baby, anything like that. And he was trying to, find out where we were and what was going on and all that stuff. They wouldn't let him in the room at all. And so so he had to wait in the waiting room before anybody would even tell him anything. And this is just from what he's told me, but I woke up and I'm just kind of like really groggy and my voice is hoarse and all that stuff. And I'm just like, oh my God, I feel like shit right now. I finally get one of the nurses to bring me some ice chips and my phone, and I'm just seeing all these texts and all these calls from everybody, because everybody's trying to see what's going on and what happened, and if the baby was here, if the baby was okay, if I was okay, where's Dre, and all this stuff. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I was like, I don't know where anybody is. I don't know what's going on. They told me my baby is okay. I was like, that I don't know how much he weighs, because one nurse was telling me he was 4 pounds. Another person was saying he was 3 pounds. DJ was born December 31st, 7:17 p.m., 3 pounds, 4 ounces. I finally got it all situated and figured out. But there were a lot of details from that procedure that I don't know what happened, that I'm still trying to figure out to this day. And I think that's why it kind of bothers me so much too, because I don't know everything that went on. Dre doesn't even know everything that went on, so we're both kind of in the dark about certain things. But yeah, so they finally got me to a room. Dre sent me a picture of DJ when he went to go visit him in the NICU. And that was the first time I got to see my baby. And I'm getting calls from everybody, and everybody's like, hey, are you okay? How are you? How's the baby? Have you seen the baby? Blah, blah, blah. Dre called us. He told us you were having the baby, and we were just in shock and all this stuff. And so they finally put me in a room, but I was in the ICU. But it was in the cardio ICU, because from what they told Dre was that I almost went into cardiac arrest. So my heart almost stopped when I was delivering DJ. And so I don't know what they did. I don't know what they did to save my life. I don't know what happened. I don't know. I don't know, you know, what DJ's first cry sounded like or anything like that. I don't know any of that. So um, I stayed in the cardiology ICU for about a day and a half or so because they wanted to make sure my blood pressure came back down. I was still very, very swollen. The C-section that I got is not like the normal kind, and so I still haven't shown it to y'all. I know, but the scar that I have is not like everybody else's, and I'll I'll probably insert a clip like right here. So this is the first time that I will be showing my stomach with my C-section scars since I had DJ, and it has, in exactly 2 weeks from today, it will be exactly 1 year since I've had him, so he will be 1 year old. But I do plan to put this out earlier, so I just wanted to show y'all. So y'all please be gentle with me. I'm very nervous to do this because my stomach it did not do the whole snapback or anything like that that you see a lot of people tend to do, or most celebrities, all that stuff. My stomach it's just big. So yeah, y'all bear with me. Please be gentle, be kind with your words. And yeah, so here it is. So that's my C-section scar all the way down there. As you can see, it starts here, goes all the way down. So most people will have theirs like along the bikini line a little further down. Mine is here. And I do have some stretch marks and stuff. But yeah, so that is my mommy belly since I've had my baby. So yeah. That one was very, very painful. Very painful to heal from. And still a little tender every now and then, but it's not as bad, of course. But yeah, like they did tell me like that is one of the hardest C-section scars to recover from, and for that to be my first experience, first baby, it was a little traumatizing. Finally, after 3 days of not seeing my son like face to face, I did get to see him through video because Dre would go to the NICU to go see him, and then he would call me so that I could see him and stuff like that. But after 3 days, I finally was able to get moved into onto like the postpartum floor, and I finally got to go visit DJ in the NICU, and I was so excited. I cried. I couldn't hold it in. I was so excited to see my son. I was so happy to see his face and just to know that he was okay. Because again, like I said, I didn't get any answers. I didn't get a lot, and it took them a few days to even set up my little camera so that I could see him. So yeah, it was definitely a lot. And then yeah, as y'all know already, he spent what 5.5 months in the NICU, but in the beginning, everything was going pretty well, and he was getting stronger every day. We were sending our family updates and all that stuff. But then by January 5th, I was actually discharged from the hospital, and I was actually going to ask to stay another day because I did not want to leave him up there. I just didn't want to leave. I didn't want to leave my baby, and we couldn't take him home. Like, that was one of the hardest days for me, to not be able to take my baby with me. So now me and DJ are attached at the hip. I know that sounds bad to a lot of people, but that's my baby. Yeah, so 5.5 months later, and we finally got to bring our little man home, as y'all saw in previous videos. So I would definitely go through the experience again because we do plan to have more children. But right now, we're just enjoying our little man. I'm enjoying being his mom and just spending so much time with him and getting to see all the different things that he's learning to do and as he's growing up and everything. But, you know, I don't want to make this too long, but I will say for any mothers that have been or that are mothers already, or this is your first time mom, parents, regardless, mothers, fathers, anything like that, make sure y'all take care of yourself, because I did not truly believe how much of an impact a baby can have on your body, and how much control they have over your body until I got pregnant myself. And they truly do have a lot of control over your body. So just please, please, please take care of yourself the best that you possibly can. Listen to your body. If you feel that something isn't right, mention it to your doctors. You are going to be your best advocate. You're going to be your baby's best advocate. You are going to be your woman, baby mama, whoever that person is, sister, cousin, aunt, it don't matter. You are going to be that person's best advocate if they're not going to speak up for themselves. So that was my lovely birth story, my scary birth story, but also beautiful in the end, but you know, whatever. So yeah, so I just wanted to give y'all, or at least share that with y'all, because I know I haven't on this channel, and just tell it from my point of view, because on Dre and A we do talk about it a little bit, but I don't really talk about like my full experience throughout the whole thing. If y'all have any questions, any comments, anything like that, let me know down in the comment section. But on that note, I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.